Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and we are here with the legend himself, John Stossel. Thank you for joining us, sir. I wanted to ask you, because you've been very passionate about the message of liberty for quite some time, and being someone who has experienced the mainstream media and has been through the hoops for many years now, you're going independent. Can you tell us why that is?
Because I think I want to explain to young people, your age people, that free markets work better than central planning, and my son convinced me that young people won't believe me as long as I'm on Fox. Plus, I'm old. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and to be working for an employer where you have to ask permission to do stuff, it's time to do whatever I want to do.
Absolutely, and first of all, I'd like to welcome you to the independent media world, which I feel silly saying to someone with the stature that you have in this, but you know, I find that often for many people who've been in mainstream media who I've spoken to, there has been kind of not a gag order, but there's been a slight bit of silence among many of those who have tried to speak about the message of liberty on mainstream television. Have you ever been told to maybe tone it down a bit when you're talking about free markets, because it's not something that's conventional when you watch mainstream television today?
Yeah, I was often told, no, you can't say that at ABC. Never at Fox. Fox, to my surprise, was totally open, whatever I wanted to do. But ABC had lawyers and editors who would review everything. One of the funniest examples was I could do free market stories about let's legalize drugs. The leftists there they would want to ask some questions, but they were okay with that. But rent control, to criticize that, the lawyers were, you can't say that rent control hurts poor people. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I live in a rent-controlled building. So there was a lot of that. Plus, they just didn't like the politics. When I left ABC because I wanted to do more stories on school choice and government health care and its problems, and they wanted me to do stories on breast enlargement and diet.
Of course. And that's what I hear from so many, and that's concerning to me, because of course the basis of individual liberty is self-responsibility, and when we look at how the markets are manipulated, we see that a kind of a Hegelian dialectic of problem, reaction, solution, repeat.
Whoa. The markets are manipulated? Hegelian
by the government.
Dialectic?
By the government.
You're making a lot of assumptions and big word statements that I don't know who's watching this, but many of them won't get. So why don't you explain what you mean?
Well, what I mean by that is that when the government, for example, gets into healthcare, they take taxpayer money and they put it into certain monopolies. So they create these monopolies, they subsidize them, they regulate competition out of the market. This takes away the incentive to be able to actually put work into getting the best medical care out there, being able to provide the best treatments, innovate, create cures for diseases. Instead, it just creates this perpetual problem where the more money you put into it at the taxpayer expense, the more you monopolize a pharmaceutical industry, and the more these people, the smaller businesses, just can't compete.
I get that. How did Hegel get in there?
Well, I just consider the term problem, reaction, solution, repeat as very real and very much in tune with the reality we see today with the manipulation of markets by the hand of the government. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going a bit into an extreme field here, but I
don't think it's extreme. But I'm not sure what your goal is with this, but if your goal is to reach people, these hyper-intellectualized words, I think, are a barrier.
Well, what would your advice be? I'd love to hear it from you.
Yeah, don't use words like that.
Yeah. So
keep it simple. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I mean, most people, look at the world, that like 1% of the people make things happen. 9% watch the people making things happen. 90% of the people wake up and say, what happened? So Fox is the biggest cable news audience. 1 million people, it's a tiny fraction. Those are the people watching the people making things happen. So you learn these exotic words in your, where'd you go to college? Some fancy institution.
I read a lot of Mises, Rothbard, Hayek.
You read Mises, for Pete's sake. I can't get through human action. If you want to reach ordinary people, we have to find more accessible words. That's
Well, no, what your point is very much true. I do believe that there are a lot of people that they have, I guess, identity politics. They've seen something on television, they repeat it, they don't exactly have a belief in a certain system, and it's hard to reach a lot of those people because it's their identity rather than their belief. And you're absolutely right. Our audience is mostly on the more voluntarist end of the spectrum, if you can consider it part of the spectrum. So we often kind of make things a little more...
Good for you people, you volunteerists.
So we tend to make it a bit complicated at times, but you're absolutely right. And there's all fields of people out there that are doing great work to try and get that message out in any way they can. But I wanted to get from you what you define as freedom, because there's a lot of definitions of freedom out there. What is your definition of freedom?
That I can do what I want as an adult.
Simple as that, eh?
Yes.
Absolutely. And I would like you to plug your channel, because you are now independent. I have been following you since I can remember watching TV, and I mean, I never thought I'd see you, first of all, go from, you know, when you're on 2020 to the amount of effort you put into bringing the message of liberty to individuals, and then going from there to independent. I just never thought I'd see you go independent, but I'm very happy to see it. So can you plug what you are currently doing?
I mean, Facebook is big these days. It's not, I mean, independent I think of as little. I'm going to put stuff out on Facebook at johnstossel.com and on my Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram, and we're going to make 2 videos a week about freedom.
It's a beautiful thing. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Like what we do here at WHAM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored by YouTube. Also, check our Bitcoin address in the description and the comments, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also find me at Josh Sigurdson at steemit.com. That's steemit.com. The future of social media, where you get paid in cryptocurrency to blog and post. Until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
Bye.